Okay, let's talk Wrestle Kingdom 11, just the Omega, or Okada match. So, I'll lose from both perspectives, one fresh wrestling fan, one American sports entertainment aspect. Basic storyline behind it, those unfamiliar with New Japan and, of course, Wrestle Kingdom. Wrestle Kingdom is effectively Japan's version of WrestleMania. Massive event. It sells out their arena, which is normally about 50,000 people, give or take. This match was for their main belt, but also they're in the process of trying to go global. Well, who becomes your face for the global push? Do you pick your ace, or do you pick an American? Well, someone who speaks English because Omega's Canadian. Well, if I even say American, because that's North America, but that's a whole different side piece. So that backstory is great. What really helps too is the crowd, even though this happens, the version that I saw on YouTube, it's at like 4 hours and 30 minutes is when they start the introductions. So 4.5 hours in. Jump back to this year's last year's WrestleMania, and 4.5 hours in, the crowd is kind of dead. But this crowd is still hot for the match, which helps. And this match is about 50 minutes. But the crowd is hot. When the match is done, they pan on the crowd, people are like, visibly, they're sucked into the match. That helps. American commentators, Kevin Kelly, and I think it's Steve Corino. Ironically, Steve Corino forgets the name of a move. And it's more or less like, hit me up on Twitter, let me know. And he actually, you can tell he's reading his scroll, his tweets, and he was like, here's the name of the move. I make mistakes, it's fine, it happens, live TV. The match is brilliant. If you've never watched Japanese professional wrestling, think of like a WWE style match. Now instead of it like, 6 moves in a flurry, it's like, it's a big, heavy, hard, solid hit. You really feel these two guys are actually beating the daylights out of each other. Big moves have that like, both guys sell that they're in a fight. It's not the, I take your finisher, stand up, kick out, hit my finisher, get a 3 count. No, it's you hit a finisher, but we're late in the match. You might have some limb damage. The announcers are going to be like, oh yeah, he's been working his back, so he didn't get all of his finisher. That's why he kicked out. And that works. It's that nice. It's the synthesis of what's going on in the ring and the commentators. And you can find this whole thing on YouTube, which is weird that it happened. Well, effectively happened this morning, the day I did the video, and you can find it all over Daily Motion and all over YouTube. And it's an amazing match. It's long. You can skip the first like 5-10 minutes because they're just kind of getting in their groove and feeling each other out, which you don't have that in an E-style match. It's you have a little bit of that, but it's like a minute or two before they start really going at full speed. Where this one, they give them the time to craft the match and make it massive, make it impressive, make it important. And the nice thing is when they do this match and they're doing the videos for it, it's like, here's what's going on, here's this is important, and they make it. It's like, this is for the face of the company and the title, which is huge. The ending sequence of this as well, seeing the sheer athleticism of Kenny Omega. Watching him do moves and you're like, okay. He did that. Man, what? Oh, that looks like that was wicked. Seeing the slow motion missile drop into the back of the head and you're like, man, there's a lot of, like, I'm going to kick in the back of the head, but not to the point I'm going to, like, kill you. But slow motion, you're going to see my feet connect. You're going to see your head go down. And it's a brilliant match. Brilliant match. Now, fresh wrestling standpoint, beautiful. This is what professional wrestling is. I have had my wife try to watch some Japanese wrestling. She doesn't care for it. We watched Cruiserweight Classic. She liked some of the matches, but she didn't get in as much as I did because sometimes they're just great professional wrestling matches. I think that from an American wrestling fan standpoint, especially on the internet, there's always that overemphasis of how big how big effectively the audience is for professional wrestling. If I were to show this to some of my friends who just watch WWE, they would go, "Oh, okay, this is a small show. No, this is the WrestleMania. Oh, it looks really small. Yeah, it does not have the massive grandeur appeal of WrestleMania. You know, the Kenny Omega coming down as a Terminator, cheesy. He just great voice work, but he's just kind of cheesy. The mask he came down with, also kind of cheesy. Okada with the Okada dollars. I get it. It's a unique thing. He is the Rainmaker, so he making it rain. I get it. I think he's something about a finisher that is a wrist clutch, beautifully, perfectly executed short arm clothesline. And Rainmaker! Just the audience so into it. The announcers so into it. It's great. You don't see that for the E product. Other downside too is if you watch the E exclusively, you're kind of used to you can have it on in the background and do something else. Not with Japanese wrestling. You have to watch what's going on because it's nuanced. And the nice thing is the announcers will also let you know, like, oh, so and so did this. You might see when he's going to do this. You know, that's because he had back damage. Back damage means you have abdominal damage, which means then you're nothing. You know, working back in kidneys will mean this, that, and that, which is great. That's what I love about Lucha Underground. The announce team, when they're allowed to announce what's going on in the ring and how it impacts the outside of the ring, brilliant. When they're stuck with having to be like, don't forget, buy a Mars bar, it detracts from the match. This match, beautiful from a wrestling standpoint. From a sports entertainer standpoint, New Japan's pro wrestling company. I think America's gotten very accustomed to the sports entertainment style. Which, it's one of the reasons why when you watch them do a show like Beast in the East, it's done differently. They try to cater more to the Japanese style. When you watch something like Shinsuke Nakamura, he's amazing. My wife loves watching him because there's so much personality. Even when he had promos where he could barely speak English, his charisma carries him through. And then I go, him on the main roster, and it's like, she goes, I don't know. Because people that work in New Japan, that work in NXT, doesn't always translate really well for the mainstream American audience. So, if you want to see an amazing wrestling match, go ahead. This match is fantastic. Can I recommend the entirety of the card? Not so much. And a lot of that's because if you don't follow a lot of New Japan, they do matches that are more gimmicky, where it's two amazing wrestlers dressed up as anime characters. And culturally significant. Not someone who follows it as much. Not as good of a match if they've been just the regular people, not in the anime costumes. And lots of titles matches. And I'm gonna get this. I'm not a Bucks fan. I'm not. I'm not. I think they're highly talented. I don't care for them. I don't. Seeing Cody Rhodes come down as the American Nightmare. He's part of Bullet Club. His intro video that they did a while back when he talked about how he was the star that's in the dust, the Prince of Dark Matter. Thought that was brilliant. He's got a tremendous future ahead of him. But he took on the guy who was C.J. Parker in a match that was not bad. I know C.J. Parker can put on a solid match, but when this is your big debut in a foreign market, it left something to be desired. His Bullet Club promo video was amazing. I will say, they do these phenomenal tag team gauntlet matches. It's great. They have a lot of great stables, great tag teams. It's what's missing from the American side of things. You're gonna be like, Bullet Club's in 4 matches. Yes. How? Well, they're a big group, but they're a group within a group. Oh. So like the NWO. Well, NWO was an idea that got stolen from, I want to say it was it New Japan? It got stolen from, was it New Japan? NWO got stolen from a Japanese company that effectively did the same thing. So, what you're seeing is a group called the Bullet Club, which at times is amazing, at other times is annoying. That is a combination of NWO and DX. And when it works beautifully. Does it work? It's like the reunions of DX and reunion of NWO. So, but back to the match itself. Great match. Great match. I cannot recommend this match enough. You can probably skip the first 5 minutes unless you're unaware of the 2 people involved. Then it's a really good way to understand the characters better. If you don't know, you have Omega, who's the cleaner. He is the leader of Bullet Club, the leader of the elite sector of Bullet Club, taking on effectively New Japan's Ace. Ace, effectively, from an American terminology standpoint, would be that's kind of their main guy. He's their face. Aces tend to win big events. I don't feel like I'm spoiling the match at all, because knowing the ending does not detract at all from this match. Brilliant match.